Here is the Daily FM summary of the Latent Space that aired on Thursday, July 16th. This episode focused on Lila Sciences, with Andy Beam and Rafa Gómez-Bombarelli explaining a very ambitious thesis. If the internet was the data source that powered large language models, then science itself may be the next internet-scale data generator. Andy framed Lila as a bet on the bitter lesson of AI. General methods that scale tend to win. His argument was that web data has largely been exhausted, and reinforcement learning has become a way for models to generate and verify their own data in domains like coding and math. Lila wants to do the same thing for science, except the verifier is nature. Their AI science factories are automated and semi-automated labs where models propose experiments, instruments, or humans execute them, and the resulting data flows back into training. A big theme was that Lila is not just a biotech company. Rafa emphasized that they work across life sciences, chemistry, and materials, proteins, RNA, small molecules, catalysts, coatings, quantum dots, polymers, and more. Their belief is that breadth matters. Just as language models benefit from learning code, recipes, and poetry together, Lila thinks a scientific reasoning model can transfer knowledge across domains. One example Rafa gave was that chemistry learned from small molecule drug discovery helped the system reason about metal organic frameworks for carbon capture and filtration. The most vivid part of the episode was the description of the lab. Andy said the lab of the future should feel less like a room designed for humans and more like a data center, dense, modular, efficient, and always running. Today, Lila connects instruments through a physical transport layer, almost like a computer bus, with plates moving between machines, sometimes on magnetically levitating tracks. But he stressed they are not automation maximalists. If a robot arm makes sense, they use it. If a human hand is faster and cheaper, that can still be an API call. The host pushed on safety, waste, and scientific rigor. Rafa said safety cannot be an afterthought, even if today the platform is used internally by aligned employees. The immediate risks are mostly lab safety issues, like bad chemical combinations or misused instruments, rather than sci-fi malicious behavior. On rigor, both guests argued that AI science has to meet the same standards as human science. One advantage of automation, Andy said, is that experiments can be rerun quickly, with far more metadata captured, down to things like humidity. There were also surprising examples of model behavior. Andy described early systems that swore in their chain of thought when asked to redo a 96 well plate map, and models whose stupid catalyst suggestions turned out to be the best non-platinum group electrocatalysts Lila had made. That led into a broader point. Distinguishing obviously bad ideas from Move 37 moments is genuinely hard. On the business side, Lila sees the model as the core asset, while the lab is the token generator. Andy compared the platform to a Claude Code for science, letting partners run virtual startups without building their own lab. He described an in vivo CAR-T effort where a tiny internal team combined binder design, lipid nanoparticle formulation, and mRNA design, reaching strong non-human primate data in about 6 months. Lila does not want to become a single-asset drug company. Instead, it wants many partners building on the platform. The closing takeaway was that Lila is trying to move science up the abstraction ladder. Scientists should spend less time manually translating ideas into protocols and more time asking better questions. The bottleneck, in Lila's view, is not just compute or data, but the ability to turn experiments into scalable, verified training signals. Thank you for listening to Latent Space in 3 minutes from the Daily FM. See you next time.